Hello, everyone. I'm your host, Mackenzie Jacob, and welcome back to Dressed Rehearsal, the podcast where Broadway and fashion take center stage, and we dive deep on the roles that shape us on stage and off. Straight out of Schmigadoon, today's guest is Richard Riaz Yoder, who has been involved in 10 Broadway shows, from Hello, Dolly to On the 20th Century, Once Upon a Mattress, Some Like It Hot. I mean, I could go on and on. Nobody embodies what this podcast is about more than Richard. Not only does Richard tap their heart out on stage, but they also make their own clothes. Yes, you heard that right. They actually even asked for scraps from their Hello Dolly costume and put together an epic vest and made their own coat for the Wicked movie premiere. I mean, it's simply unreal. Richard also just won the Cheetah Rivera Award for Schmigadoon's ensemble, which they've won not once, not twice, but 3 times over the course of their career. In this episode, we address the controversy of Miss September L. Davis versus Anna Gasteyer. I mean, if you know, you know. If not, look it up online. We talk about the Black excellence that was Shuffle Along, from Audra McDonald to Billy Porter, Brian Stokes Mitchell, Adrienne Warren, Amber Iman. I mean, I literally could go on forever. We also talk about when Richard had a birthday drink with Bette Midler in her dressing room, and just all the moments along the way that have reaffirmed how a life in the arts was meant for Richard. I hope you enjoy this episode of Dress Rehearsal Podcast with Richard Riaz Yoder. And welcome to the podcast. How are you?
Hi, I'm so good. Thank you for having me.
Well, we start every episode with, how did you get bit by the theater bug?
Oh my gosh. So it starts around the time I was in fifth grade.
Okay.
I didn't know anything about Broadway. I didn't know anything about really New York City that way. All I knew was that my older brother and my sisters were in theater in high school, and I would go see all of their shows, and I was transfixed by it.
Mhm.
So I just knew I wanted to do that. I didn't know anything about Broadway or anything like that. I just knew I wanted to do what my brothers and sisters did. So they were in a thing called show choir. I don't know if people really have those anymore,
I
but
feel like
it was
Glee brought it
very
back.
Glee-esque.
Yes, very.
Yeah, so it was the gayest thing on earth. It was so funny. I was in purple sequins and a purple bow tie, and it was like, "We're magic to do just for you." I mean, it was the most gestural choreography, but I was obsessed with it. Was living for it. And so one day there was somebody that was doing a time step next to me, and it changed my life. I had never seen tap dance that up close before. You know, I had seen it in movies like Bilbo Jangles Robinson and the Nicholas Brothers and Gene Kelly, Fred Astaire, Eleanor Powell, Jenny Lagong. I mean, I saw all of those people on the MGM movies, but it seemed like something that was a dream that just apparated out of nowhere. And it was at that moment that I was obsessed with it. So I started taking tap classes from a teacher that used to teach both of my sisters dance as well. And then from there, and I was like 17 when I started tap dancing. And that's kind of what got me into theater as I know it now, because then I was like, oh, there's a whole world out there of theater and dance that I kind of never had access to. But as soon as I started tap dancing, it kind of opened up my world. So that's what started everything.
Well, I have to tell you, so right when I knew this interview was coming up, I got invited to my best friend's mom through a 75th birthday party, and it was tap dance class. So it was me,
Oh my gosh.
my best friend Dana, and all of her mom's friends just tapping our hearts out, and it was everything of the sort.
That's so cute. You're never too old to start.
No,
Trust.
let me tell you, there wasn't a lot of movement going on, but we tried.
Uh-huh.
But we
Yeah,
did.
yeah. That's all you need. Listen, all you need is a rhythm. That's how you start.
Yes, and I don't know if we had that, but that's all right. I am curious though, like when you were starting out, was there a first person that really believed in you and made you see like, oh, I can do this beyond just like following in my siblings' footsteps?
Oh, my mother and my first tap teacher. So my mother was the one, as soon as she saw that I was excited about dancing,
Hmm.
really excited about dancing, she completely made it her objective to expose me to as much dance as she possibly could.
Hmm.
And so the reason, I mean, she was the one that scheduled all my auditions. She actually asked me a question that changed my life. What do you want to do with your life? I mean, what an epic question to ask a 17-year-old. But I had never really thought about that before. I was like, I don't know, I'll be a lawyer or something like that. They make money. And then she told me what a lawyer actually does. And I was like, that sounds, sorry to all the lawyers out there, but that sounds dreadful to me. I
Right.
couldn't possibly imagine that. And she said, okay, well, what would you want to do if you didn't need to earn money? And I was like, oh, I would dance and sing. And so from there, she said, okay, this is a possibility for something that you can actually do. And so then from there, set out to figure out what colleges would work for me. So, I mean, I auditioned for like 10 colleges and I got into the very last one that I auditioned for. And so they saw me go through the depths of sadness, not being able to get accepted to any colleges because I wasn't trained enough. So, and she was definitely that center force to like let me know that everything was going to be okay. And then my first dance teacher, Carrie James, it was kind of funny. So she used to teach my sisters when they were younger, but she had a dance school that was all adults. So when my mother brought me to her, I wasn't dancing with people my own age. I was the youngest person there by like 10 years.
Wow.
And I was 17, so there were like 27-year-olds, there were 50-year-olds, there were 60-year-olds, there were 70-year-olds. So I was in a much different place than a lot of children are. And for me, it was amazing because I got to dance with, rather than dancing with people that kind of had to be there because their parents made them,
Mhm.
or people that were very untrained. I was around people that had been dancing their entire lives and that loved it.
Mhm.
The reason why they were there wasn't because somebody's forcing them to, because who's forcing an 80-year-old woman to go to a dance class, or a
Right.
50-year-old woman or man to go to a dance class? So I felt so lucky that I was surrounded by people that were mature, and mature dancers and mature people.
Mhm.
And so I didn't really have to worry about like the studio life a lot of people have. So those were two of my main influences growing up that like first got me into it.
I mean, how lucky to have that many people like pouring into you and like wanting.
Yes.
Hmm.
Yes.
And I can only imagine that version of you must have just been so out of your mind when you went on to do Shuffle Along with Savion Glover as the choreographer. Like, what a moment in time. And like, for anyone that doesn't know Shuffle Along, like, it was full of like the most insane cast of heavy hitters from
Oh
Audra,
yeah.
Dolly, Porter. Like, I could literally go on. But like, what did having
Black Legends Ball.
completely, like, what did having that leadership teach you about how you want to show up in rooms?
I would just watch and learn. I would watch and learn. One thing was Adrienne Warren. What I learned from her is take what you are given and fly with it,
Mm,
because she got her first Tony nomination for that role. And they were just these, I don't want to say small character parts, but in comparison to possibly like Audra's character,
sure.
they were all of these different parts and all of these vignettes. And she took the time to really map out a particular character for each of those vignettes that she had. And she became one of the most memorable parts of the show. Audra, I think I learned just grace and the way that she approached the role. I mean, she is dropped in,
Mm-hmm.
even running through lines and things like that. She is completely dropped in every single time. Stokes, every time that he would take his time. He would take his time in rehearsal. He would take his time. He wouldn't try to be 110% right out of the gate. He would learn about the character.
Mm.
He would find things every day, and I found it so inspiring. And this was the other thing, is that all of the principal characters within our show, they wanted everybody to tap dance.
Mm.
And some of them either had never tap danced before or hadn't tap danced in years. Like Billy had talked about how he hadn't really put on tap shoes in maybe like 10, 20 years or something like that.
Wow.
And so, but everybody tap danced all together all the time. Everybody became a student again. And I think that that was one of the things I found so inspiring from them, was that there was no ego. There was
Right.
no ego when it came to learning tap dance because everybody's struggling because Savion Glover is one of the greatest tap dancers on earth and he moves fast.
Mm-hmm.
So we all had to kind of, for lack of a better word, gird your loins like in Devil Wears Prada
Yeah.
because it was hard and it was, I mean, we worked our butts off from day one. I remember because we did like 3 labs before doing the actual show. And I just remember us all getting so skinny because we were on our feet all day. And I remember one day in rehearsal, we're doing because we would start every day, almost every day with a dance class, and it would be like 45 minutes. And so in front of me was Brooks Ashmanskis, and to the side of me was Audra McDonald. Brian Stokes Mitchell was here. Brandon Victor Dixon was behind me. Adrian Warren was to the other side of me. And Billy Porter was up. And it was all of us were helping each other. All of us were kind of commiserating together because it was hard. All of us were sweating together. We were breathing together. It was an experience I will never forget. Everybody talks about what show I would go back to, and I would go back to that in a heartbeat
Mm.
because I was just living my dreams. And there's a video that just circled around recently. I don't know how it came up. Oh, because it was Shuffle Alongs. We
Mhm.
opened 10 years ago. We were rehearsing one of the numbers, and it was, you could see all of us just like trying to get whatever this step is. And it was thrilling. I mean, I take the lessons that I learned from that show and I bring them with me everywhere.
I mean, who knew that the original Ozempic was just Savion Glover choreography? Like
Maybe
everyone
Body by Glover.
body
Who
by
knew?
Glover is perfect. I also
Yeah.
feel like that show is so known for like having such an insanely tight-knit cast. And I feel like you've gotten
Yeah.
lucky with a few of those. And it seems like Hello Dolly was the same situation where just like
Oh,
everyone loved each other so much. And that seems like a show people always
yes.
want, like everyone's dying to talk about it still. And that was also like 10 years ago. And so was there a moment early on in Hello Dolly that you were like, oh, this cast is going to be bonded for life?
I think that was definitely one of the top down kind of loving casts because Gavin Creel, rest his soul, and David Hyde Pierce really made it a point to make sure that all of us were taken care of, that all of us are loved on, and that we have activities to do that bolster us together. That guy's dressing room was one of the most fun dressing rooms I have ever been in my entire life. It felt like an improv class.
Mm,
This is what I say. This to me, this is what makes a really good dressing room is that it feels like an improv class to me because people be telling jokes
mhm.
and people are quick. Though that's the kind of dressing room I like. And so we just bonded because that show was very hard. It was very hard on our bodies. And it was like we were like climbing up a hill together. It's like we got this. And the same thing with Some Like It Hot. That opening number was a killer, but we would do a circle every single day. And it was kind of like, hey, we got this. Hey, we're gonna make this. And yeah, and I just that was one of those moments where we have to just commiserate with each other, but also bolster each other. I think that a cast can go one or two ways. I always say if you have a bunch of pretty people and they don't have a sense of humor,
Mm,
it's not going to end well.
right.
You have to have a sense of humor and you have to have a bit of ability to laugh at yourself in these spaces because what we're doing is crazy.
Right.
We're like flying around, we're literally throwing people, we're getting changed in front of each other, we're being very vulnerable, we're going through life things together, and we talk about things. So I feel like if as long as you have like a sense of levity about
Mhm.
yourself and a sense of levity about what we're doing, then it can only end well.
Right. And I mean, that cast too was led by like divas. Like you have people like Bette Midler coming back to the stage, and it's like you want that
Yes.
to be magic, and you know that like she's a theater person, so she's going to be just in it and love it.
Yeah.
Like that could go so many ways. And so the fact that like it reminds me, I just watched the Martin Short documentary, and his life
Mm.
is so that of like improv. Everything is a joke, like everyone's riffing off
Yeah.
each other. And when you get that alchemy, like it's so magical.
Yeah, there was this one moment, and Bet would she would go off sometimes on stage, and if something went wrong, she would just make a joke about it.
Hmm.
And I'll never forget there was this one time, I think it was during our invited dress or something like that, where she kept forgetting the bag, and then at one point she said, "This damn bag." And it just cracked everyone up because it was like these moments of just Bet coming out.
Right.
And she also was one of the sweetest people, even though she had a lot of stuff going on. You know, she had broken a record before she had even started performing. I think they broke the record, box office record for the Schubert right at the very beginning. And so there was a lot happening before we even started rehearsal. There was a lot. And I'll never forget on my birthday, I invited the whole cast out for a drink and some food. And so I invite because anytime that I have a birthday and I'm in a cast, I invite my friends and I invite my cast because I want to merge those two worlds together and then
The
people
collab of the
see.
century.
Yeah, and you just get to see all of these people from different worlds, and
Mhm.
it's just lovely. So I asked her if she wanted to come, and I asked the whole cast, and people came, and she came up to me during the show, and she was like, "Hey, I just am not going to be able to go out with everybody," and she said, and I get it. She was like, sometimes if I go places, it turns into a mob. And I was
Mm,
like, that was one of the first moments that I realized. I mean, I know that she's a gigantic star, but
sure.
that was one of the moments because I'm so used to being able to just like go out with casts and just do stuff. That's one of the times I realized, oh, she is worldly known. And who knows what would happen if she like went out to just a regular place without being able to know who was going to be there. And so she was like, "Well, do you want to come for a drink in my dressing room?" And it was kind of like the elusive place because she took over an entire floor of
Okay.
dressing rooms. And she made it, she was like, had a seating area, she had a sleeping area, and then she had a like getting ready area, all of these things. And so I was like one of the first people that was able to like go back there and like chill out with her. But after the show, it was just me and her, and it was us for like maybe half an hour, 15 minutes of just talking. And it was something I will never forget because she didn't need to do that. But it was just such a lovely moment to have. Also, her inviting us to the hula wing, which is kind of her.
Iconic.
Yeah, and so and we showed up. It was so fun because we had all of these costumes. I think it was like the Garden of Eden, or it was
Okay.
something to that effect was the theme, and we really went all out for it. Yeah, I'll never forget that.
And the fact that she was thoughtful enough to be like, I don't want to blow up your birthday party with like whatever scene is going to happen is, I think,
Yes.
the foresight is really cool. I also read that you asked for scraps of your costume from Sunday clothes. And like, what did you do with those scraps? And like, what made you even think
Oh
to
my
ask for
gosh,
those
I love
pieces?
that you know that information. That's so funny. It's funny because I think that was kind of a precursor to me wanting to make outfits.
Hmm.
So I asked for the scraps, and they gave me the scraps, and I went to Gilberto and I was like, "Hey, do you know anybody that would be able to turn this into a vest?" Because I wonder if I have it with me. It's somewhere. And he was like, "Hey, yeah, let me see what I can do with it." And so there weren't actually enough scraps. So he called around and he got more fabric,
It's
and
amazing.
then he created a vest for me.
Have
And
you been
then,
wearing it on the town? Like, or is it like very special in a costume?
oh, it's once in a blue moon
Yeah,
thing. And so I wore it to opening night.
it's
I
awesome.
wore it to opening night, and I had like this other blue suit on top of it because I had a whole idea, and then one idea didn't work, and I was like, "Oh, I really want to wear this." But
Hmm.
the colors are so bright
Right.
and so vibrant that I was like, I need to find something. So I found this, I think it was from Top Man or Zara or something like that. It was this beautiful blue suit that I wore with it. And so I used that for my opening night. And it's I mean, and people loved it because it was very obvious that this is my
Yeah.
Sunday clothes outfit.
Is there any other show that you're like, damn, I wish I asked for scraps there? Like, that would be an epic thing to pull from now.
Oh, Shuffle Along.
Yeah.
There was this suit that I had in the opening. It was like a yellowish tan vest. I'm literally going back into
Yeah, the vault.
the recesses. Yes, the vault, the
Yeah.
recesses of my mind. And it was a gray suit that had flecks of yellow and orange in it. And I know that sounds so strange, but the way that Anne Roth would put patterns together, it was so sexy and it was so regal and I felt elegant. But that suit, I will not forget being able to take pictures of it. And I was like, this, I mean, it's just beautiful.
Hmm.
And it read so well on stage. So I think that would be one of the ones that I would love to have taken. And then, oh, some of my patterns for Some Like a Hot. I think, I know, I'm going to move this for a split second so you can see.
Oh my God.
So Greg Barnes, he gave us the mock-up of our outfits, and then he gave us a swatch of it as well so that we could
So
keep. So
cool.
I have it there.
What a
Um,
special gift to give to everyone just to have.
It was so kind because I've never gotten anything like that before. I've seen people having like and that's a Greg Barn thing. I don't know if he always does it, but he tends to give you the mock-up and like a swatch of fabric, which is so sweet and lovely for him to do.
So cool. And also, congratulations are in order because the Ensemble of Schmigadoon just won a Cheetah Rivera Award for
Yes, we
ensemble.
did.
And something I think that's very cool about Schmigadoon is that it's so many veterans. Like, I want to say your ensemble has like over 100 Broadway credits, something insane. But
Yeah, 100. I think we counted it and it was 130.
that's insane. Like, literally
Yeah.
insane.
And it's kind of funny. So the first time that I won an ensemble award was in 2015 with On the 20th Century.
Mhm.
And it was the four of us porters. It was Philip Atmore, Rick Fogno, Drew King, and I. And we got that award. And they brought back that award for us, which was very sweet that they did that for us. And I am 11 years later. This is the third ensemble award that I've gotten.
Amazing.
The second one for Shuffle Along. And it's such a testament to, first of all, the love that I get being in casts.
Mhm.
But also I kind of feel I'm so proud of myself that like, I've been told by some choreographers that my career would be done at 40. I'll never forget one choreographer was like, when I was 32, enjoy your time dancing now because it's almost over. And it kind of like put a sense of dread within me, but at the same time, I'm pretty hard-headed. My family they used to call me Rockhead because I was very hard-headed,
Hey, you were
which
dancing
is
with 80-year-olds. Your context was why not keep going?
ah, thank you. Thank
Like,
you, thank you, thank you. And when I would see people that age dancing, and I thought, when people would tell me that I wouldn't dance past a certain point, to me that didn't make sense. And so I'm so happy that I just didn't pay attention to any of those people. And here I am 11 years later, still dancing, still at the top of my game, and I just couldn't be more thankful. And it's partly because of the cast I'm in, I think. Yes, my own dedication and blah blah blah, all of that stuff. But I think really being able to be around people that lift you up is one of the things that I think is just so special about this industry.
totally. I will say, a bit of a controversy at Schmigadoon between Miss September L. Davis and Anna Gasteyer. You were, in fact, a part of September's apology tour. Can you tell us whose side you are on?
That is extremely confidential. Although I will tell you that I did choreograph September L. Davis's off-Broadway show. So I might be in the crosshairs of some fire at the moment. But
I mean,
yeah,
there's a
so
death scare. There's a lot of things going on with Miss Davis.
I know she's a interesting gal. I think I hope she finds her way. Maybe she'll find her way into Schmigadoon at one point.
Yeah, she's always talking about proof. She's got her eyes set on proof at the moment, it seems.
I would not be I would not be surprised. It was funny because there was somebody in the audience front row that looked exactly like September L. Davis.
No way.
And everybody in the cast started cracking up because we were like, what is happening right now? And Anna was on stage. I was like,
Like looking in the
it,
mirror. It's like when
Yeah. Oh, it was funny.
it's like when people pick someone in the audience and they're like, I'm doing the show for that little kid that's dreaming, but it's like, no, I'm doing it for that queen with a big bunch of hair.
I know. She had this big old red curly hair. I said, all
Hello,
right, miss, you sit in
September.
the front row. I'm gonna give it to you, okay?
That is so funny. I also loved your Schmigadoon opening night look. Can you tell us kind of like your inspo behind it?
Oh man. So I realized I've been kind of chasing an aesthetic, chasing a look for a while. So I love the thought of, is it a dress or is it pants? That
Hmm.
is one of the things. So I made an outfit for the Wicked movie premiere. And you turn to the side and it looked like I'm wearing like a pencil skirt. And you turn to the front and I'm wearing pants. And so for a Schmigadoon opening, I had this idea for a corset and these like flowing pants. And I loved it, but then I didn't have enough time to really execute it. So I pivoted and I got this vest and I knew that I had a pattern for like a palazzo pants. And rather than just doing the pants as is, I was like, I wanted to create something that looked more like a gown
Mm.
with it. So I kind of had to take the pattern. And this was one of the first times I have altered something after I had made it, like, just like nipping and tucking and putting it in places or taking off the arms or whatever, or sleeves. And this time I wanted to just completely redo the pattern. So this was one of my first times really taking a pattern and making it my own. And that's why I decided to I wanted it to give it a sweeping look. So I folded it over a little bit farther than it would normally be so that I could give like a pant look, but then also give a panel
Hmm.
and then also give it almost like a bustle in the back.
Yeah.
And when I made it with suiting fabric, and because I got this suiting fabric from B&J Fabrics, it just went straight down and it flowed great. I couldn't really figure out how to bolster it and how to make it fuller. And so I ended up getting a tulle skirt. And
Awesome.
so then I just cut it so that it could fit in between the legs. And then all of a sudden it just was like, it was huge and it was exactly what I wanted. Once they said that it was like chic picnic,
Yes.
then I was like, I just had this idea about like if I was in Schmigadoon and it was a picnic and it was like a chic elevated picnic, what would I do? And I would like in my head, I was like, I want to look like Cinderella to a certain extent.
Yep.
And so I did so many different versions. And I was gonna do a jacket as well. But and this is the thing. So because of the show and because of my own ADHD, I will put things off to the last minute. And so Cody, my friend Cody Bernard Richard says,
Epic
okay, you're
style
doing it.
icon.
Yes, exactly. And he's always like, okay, you doing another drag race challenge? Because that's what it turns into,
Oh.
design challenge, because it's like so quick me doing it. So I had an idea for a coat, but then I ended up like, you know what? I'm just gonna focus on these two things. And then I made a vest, but then I wasn't really feeling the vest and I gave up on it. And
Mm.
so I was talking to Cody on FaceTime. This is another thing about having friends that will bolster you, have friends that will talk you out of your own madness. Because I tend to have a lot of my own madness when it comes to my inner saboteur. She's very strong.
Mm.
She's very strong and very wrong quite often.
Mm.
And I had the vest and I wasn't feeling it because it wasn't finished and I didn't feel like it was quite up to the standard that I wanted. And he looked at it, he was like, "This looks great. What's wrong with you?" He was
Right.
like, "Just finish it and then go." And so then I took my time and I finished it and I'm so happy that I did because I think in the end it made a cohesive look. And I think without the vest it wouldn't have been as solid. I tend to doubt all of my ideas, all of my thoughts, or tend to second guess my style. And my friends are like, "No, you are right on it. You just need to finish it. You just need because it's there, your idea is correct." But it's just the thought of finishing it.
I have to tell you, Cody has been the most mentioned, the most like called out, like frame of
Oh
reference.
yeah.
Everyone is always giving Cody his flowers for his fashion. And so the fact that you guys can just like riff on that, like how fun to just like have a text chain going of like, what do you think about this idea? And really just have someone that like has a similar point of view on like how fashion can be so transformative.
We've all been on this journey together. It's been so cool to see all of our style change.
Totally.
And to see it change and to see everybody taking steps of courage, because it really is, it's just another way to express yourself. And that is one of the things I think that I love so much about creating looks is that I, if I can't find something, I want to make it.
Amazing.
And I think that that's a thing that kind of drives me rather than taking something, being like, oh, that's cute, I like it, and then getting it, which is completely fine. And I've done that plenty of times because there's lots of great outfits out there. But if I have an idea for something, my brain can't rest until I make it, until it comes into fruition, into reality.
And we had Jay Harrison G on the pod, and Jay said they were like, when I'm walking down the street, I just want to give him something to talk about. And that's
listen, you're gonna know Jay is walking around.
Yes, okay? Of course.
And Jay is one of those people that encourages me as well. They always say, keep going. Keep going. Keep going. Whatever it is, keep going. And yeah, they inspire me so much. And it's like I think about my life now, and I think like how incredible it would be for that younger Richard to know this is what I'm looking forward to. This is the future that I have. When I was younger, I used to love making outfits. I tell this story all the time. I used to love making outfits, and I was making it was the gayest, but also the most Midwestern thing in the world.
Okay.
I made a satin back jean front vest.
It's giving mullet.
Yes, absolutely. It was giving mullet. But then I also had a embroidered eagle on the side of it. It was that head tilt. That is hilarious. You said, really? Yeah, exactly. I look at it now and it's so funny because it's like that's the way that I could express myself.
Right.
And so I love doing it. I wore that jean vest out. I wore it out, and I'll never forget, there was a moment where I think when people saw me so excited about sewing and doing things like that, one guy made fun of me, and we were on a school trip to go to this fabric store to make stuff.
What a magical
for
school
this like
trip.
home ec. Yeah, it was like this home ec class, and I thought I was having a blast. And then we went out to eat, and then this guy just like kept laying into me and kept making fun of me. You're gay, this, you're that. I mean, just over and over again. All because I ordered Sprite, which is what all the other girls were drinking.
Right.
It was the most random thing. All the girls ordered Sprite, and I was like, I'll have a Sprite too. And this guy was like, that's why you're gay.
What?
And I was like,
get a grip.
It doesn't make any sense. I think about it now, and I'm like,
but that's when you know it's about him and not you.
Absolutely. It was something that was deeper within him that made him need to lash out at me. And at the time, he probably, who knows, he probably had a crush on me or something like that.
He definitely is gay.
Exactly. I was like, why would it trigger you so much? And now I think about it, and I think he was right, first of all. That's the thing.
That's the TLDR.
Yeah, and it's kind of like, I think about it now, and I think some kids, when they're younger, they don't know how to describe somebody that is just special. They don't know how to describe somebody that is just different. And I think that they were right. I was different. I was different than everybody else that was around me. And now it is something that has served me so strongly, and it is something that I've become known for, being somebody that is out and proud and somebody that is enjoyed making fashion. Now that I'm starting to become known as somebody that makes their own things.
Oh yeah.
And it's like I'm just living in a dream that somebody tried to take away from me. And it feels so empowered by it.
Could not have thought of a better, more beautiful way to end it. I cannot thank you enough for just like being,
oh my God, thank you for having me,
with your spirit. And I'm so excited for every look that you are building to come, because when you make your own clothes, it's so in touch with your personal style, like you can't lose.
Yeah, thank you. I appreciate that.
And that's our show. Be sure to rate, review, and subscribe to Dressed Rehearsal. If you love theater and fashion as much as we do, invite another diva to join the community. You can find us on Instagram, TikTok, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, YouTube, all the places. See you next time.